Welcome to solverfy.
Okay, we need to classify the following bonds: barium chloride, carbon nitrogen, hydrogen and chlorine and iodide as being ionic, polar covalent, or simply covalent. Right, the three bond types. And the way we do this is we look at differences in electronegativity, which, if you recall, when looking at a periodic table, increases from left to right, right, and increases from the bottom up. So the most electronegative atoms are in the top right. And the most highest differences that you'll see in electronegativity are something from the left-hand side of the periodic table with something with the right-hand side of the periodic table, which, if you'll notice, barium chloride represents. Barium is in the first two columns, chlorine is in the final column. So this must be ionic. In contrast to this, we have carbon and nitrogen. Carbon and nitrogen find themselves right next to each other, right, in the periodic table. So they would be predicted to have similar electronegativities. But because those electronegativities aren't exactly the same, it won't be a purely covalent bond. It will be polar covalent, right? So the only purely covalent bonds that we see are CC, and then there's one exception to the picking left and right hand side of the table, which is hydrogen and carbon, which, for reasons that are beyond the scope of this problem, have very similar electronegativities despite being located in different places on the periodic table. Okay, so next we have hydrogen and chlorine, right? And once again, we're saying first row, final row, just like barium chloride, this is going to be ionic. And finally, we have chlorine and iodide, right? Chlorine, second row, final column, iodine, fourth row, but again, that final column, so these will be very similar in electronegativity, and this will be polar covalent.